Boss man, talk to us.
I just feel like you're hearing everything I say anyways, so I might as well actually officially say something. But.
Get on here, man.
And I was just telling my friend
Match
Mike
number
here, like,
18
it's wild,
is
like,
in the
what we spend
middleweight
time doing these
division.
days, you know, whether we're teaching
First,
and traveling.
making his way to the JCI
Training every day
stage
at
from
our
the
academy.
black corner. He's representing Team 333 Jiu-Jitsu and Seraphin BJJ. He's from
And
Grays
listen to you
Lake,
guys,
Illinois.
like
He is Ed
You're both so educated,
Jackson.
you understand the sport. You're starting to understand more and more about the people that, you know, it's just awesome.
The boss man, the big frog, getting me a little misty-eyed here in the booth as Edward Jackson makes his way to the JCI stage. A black belt out of 333 Jiu-Jitsu and Seraphin BJJ.
His opponent now entering the JCI stage. He's out of the red corner. He's representing Team Alliance. And he's grappling out of Black River Falls, Wisconsin. He is Ryan Simonis.
In steps Ryan Simonis. Looking to hypnotize the fans here at the Vixen. A black belt out of Alliance. A two-time Nogi World medalist and five-time Nogi Pan medalist.
Match number 18.
Our referee, the very well experienced and incredibly knowledgeable Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Mark Vives.
So I saw Ed Jackson, I think 2 weeks ago at the Chicago Open, and you know, he fought Renee and JCI won, and they went into the, Renee lost the decision to him in the overtime, and Ryan's original opponent got, I forget what happened, but because my mind is cluttered right now, but Ryan just like, yeah, I'm down, let's do it, and I called Ed and I said, hey, you want to take this match with him? And he's like, I'm in. So it's that easy.
Yeah, I remember that matchup against Renee. It was definitely one of those matches that had everyone on the edge of their seats. Both of those guys are incredibly game, and as you said, you know, game to sign the dotted line for whoever's being put in front of them. So Jeff, we're on match number 18. You've gotten a good sample set to see the night here at JCI 3. What are you seeing from the competitors tonight that's really allowing them to stand out at the Dominion?
I think everybody is, they're knowing the vibe I'm trying to capture with it. And I think because I'm not some corporate machine, they're kind of relating to my train of thought a little bit, and that, you know, if we want people to enjoy jiu-jitsu, you got to bring good jiu-jitsu. And it can't just be some made-up story. Like, go show them what it's all about. And granted, I like slow, methodical jiu-jitsu and like baiting your opponent. I love all that, but unfortunately, the fans don't. So you got to kind of. It reminds me, guys. I had a moment with Hicks and Gracie. I don't want to take away from this match, but while we're kind of in the closed guard here, and Jackson's looking to open. Hickson and I were in the same room together after one of his seminars, and I walked in his room and I said, oh, I'm sorry, you know, for interrupting you. And he asked me if I was going to fight again. And I said, you know, I'm not sure. And he said, it's in your DNA, you have to. And then he said, I've been working with Crone a little bit, trying to figure out how to make jiu-jitsu work faster, you know. And I think this style kind of does that. It's like everything can happen. You just got to move. You got to make your moments. You're going against skilled people. We're going against people that know everything we know, and, well, you know what I'm talking about, the do's and don'ts at least, and you got to expose them. You got to find ways to bait them in, draw them out, whatever it is.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it there. The rule set obviously is going to come into play when you go into these submission-only events, but the vibe is real, and that's a big factor. There's been something you've been able to create here at JCI, Jeff, that I think is just very special, and you're seeing it with the fighters tonight. like you said, they're catching your vibe, and they're on the same wavelength, and we're seeing it in the performances.
Yeah, I mean, the only hard part is I don't want to be...
Ooh, throwing up a triangle, Ryan Simonis.
That is not good for Ed. Classic, man.
It almost felt like he lulled him to sleep, threw up the triangle, transitioning to that armbar now.
Whoa, dude.
Big credit to Edward Jackson gutting that out, remaining composed and now in side control.
And Kevin in September, too.
I got one more guy who's a firework guy.
You got it, dude. Thanks, man. A little goodbye to Alex Seaver. Man, that was
dicey.
Yeah, dude. But, you know, that's the thing about this rule set. It's like you go regulation, you throw up that move, you almost only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades. That's the saying, I guess. And it's like now he's out, now he's in a bad spot. And he also put the awareness up now for Ed Jackson to go, okay, he's pretty dangerous there. I better watch it moving forward. So that brings him into an overtime round with a little bit more education about his attack and his offensive game.
And I was actually about to ask Jessica if you thought maybe that would make Jackson a little bit more weary to fire off some attempts. But here we see him from side control, reaching cross body, looking to crank on that key lock. A little bit of, it looked almost like he had a little bit of wrist lock action going there as well. Now settling for the arm right in front of him.
Slick.
Jeff, you said you like a little bait and switch. Asking you shall receive, friend.
Yeah, I mean, these guys they're both like, this arm lock that he's doing is very similar to Ronda Rousey, where they lock their legs under the far arm.
Ed Jackson creates the separation and creates the W for himself. But it was by no means smooth sailing, as Ryan Simonis certainly threatened. Jessica, he showed that he was most certainly dangerous from a lot of different positions, but Ed Jackson remains calm, waits for his opportunity, gets the job done. There you see our athletes staying hydrated with Nama water all night long. Gotta love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 5 minutes and 21 seconds into the round, your winner via armbar, Ed Jackson!
Incredibly solid outing for Ed Jackson. Maintains his composure, works through some sticky situations, finds himself back in the winner's column.
He really capitalized off of a very vulnerable moment. He used the armbar defense to get on top.
Yeah, absolutely. A lesser fighter probably would have been more worried about that torque on the elbow. But gutting it out, weathering the storm, advancing the position, and getting the finish. Edward Jackson, your winner via armbar. And that the 18th match here at JCI 3, the Dominion. We take a look at the Advanced Relief Institute instant replay. There you see Ed Jackson getting the separation. Getting the dub, Jessica.